right, so we are in your notes for today. We're going to be back to L4, so we're going to solve by substitution again today. Tomorrow is going to be a formative. Formative tomorrow in class. It will cover graphing and substitution. Then Wednesday, we're going to pick up elimination. Excuse me, that'll be another tool in our toolbox, and actually, that'll probably be in the end. It'll be the method of solving systems of equations that you use probably the most is elimination. So we'll do that Wednesday and Thursday. Friday, then, we'll do choose your own adventure way of solving. So you get to pick which of the three methods that you want to do. Then next week, we got a couple of days of review and a couple of days of review for the final to go along with taking the Unit L test next week.
We should do something fun next Tuesday. So let's have 4 days.
Well, we got a review for the final because we got that coming up. Yeah. All right. So on the old L4 warm-ups, before we do these, because I corrected the very few homeworks that I had of these. Okay, there's 40 kids that I grade in pre-algebra. In one class, they're missing 34, or on one of them, I don't remember if it was L2 or L3, missing 34 of the homeworks. So I couldn't really correct that many, but from what I did see, what kind of a question, there's different kinds of questions out there in the world. What kind of a question is this? It's a what? No. It's a what? What kind of a question is it? It's a yes or no question. Either this point is a solution to it, that would be yes, or this point is not a solution to it, and that would be no. This is a yes or a no question. And I don't know how many different kinds of answers I got over when I was grading these yesterday of, some people would give me a check mark. Some people would give me an X. Some people would give me some weird, but does it? Because the check mark to me means something different, And so the word yes means yes. The word no means no. It is a solution. It isn't a solution. Those are things that we can communicate to people. So what I want you to do is I want you to answer these questions by showing your map with yes or no as the answer. Okay? Go for it.
All right, watch this magic. You're substituting x and y in. So in the top one, instead of x, we're putting in 1. Instead of y, we're putting -2. Everything else stays the same. So 2 is the equal sign, so 0. 2 times 1. You can add initial and you erase that into a minus. Plus minus is minus. And minus 2. 0 equals 0. That works.
That work?
Right.
Okay. So we gotta go to the second one.
Not done yet. Yeah, we gotta check the second one.
Just because it works in one doesn't necessarily mean that it works in both. Three times 1 is 3. Negative times -2. +2. 3 plus 2. 5. It doesn't equal 8, right? So is this a yes, it works, or no, it doesn't? This is a no, it doesn't. What was that?
Holy shnikes.
What was that?
I don't know, I'm scared. It sounded like a bottle exploder or
Almost
something.
4 there, Mr. Hildebrandt.
No.
Almost set a bag.
Like, I don't know what that was.
You hit the
I didn't touch, I didn't move.
It's a ghost!
Yeah. All right, let's go on to the next one. Same solution.
Alright, let's pay attention up here. You guys just done? I have a feeling. Okay, write this down. Okay, substituting those in again for number 2. Same values, 1 and -2.
Works in the first one, but then again, that doesn't necessarily mean that it works in the second one. 5 times 1 is 5. -2 times -2 is +4. 5 plus 4 is 9. So 9 is equal to 9. So it works in both of them. So is it a yes or a no? Yes. It's a yes. Huh? Not done until you show the answer. Final answer in those is yes or no. Okay? Right? But you got to show all of this work to get there. Okay? So last week, Thursday, we talked a little bit about substitution. And we came up with some steps to solve a system of equation by substitution. Okay? The first step, in one of the equations, solve for either one of the variables. Yes. Either one of the variables.
Of course, those are our letters in the math problem here. Of course.
Now, I also said last week, Thursday, that we want to make it easy on ourselves, right? So we have to be smart in how we pick which equation for which variable we solve for. What I mean by that is, in this first example that we have down here that we're going to do momentarily, would I want to solve the top equation for x? Can I? Yeah, but what am I going to get? Starts with an F and ends with fractions. I'm going to get fractions. Okay? And if you don't like fractions, don't solve that one. Okay? Started with an F and ends with fractions. Okay? Alright? So this one, we want it to look like either x equals something or y equals something. Okay? That's what we want it to look like. Then, in step 2, in the other equation, so we used one equation, now we can't use that equation anymore. In the other equation, what are we going to do with that something that we just solved for? We're going to substitute, plug in, replace. That we just found in that previous step. Now we've got one equation with one variable. What do we need to do with that equation? We need to solve it for that one variable. Then in step 4, we're going to plug that back into one of our original equations. Again, we're going to be smart because it doesn't matter which one. And we're going to get what the other variable is worth, or what the value of the other variable is. Then we're going to write our answer. Now this is, some people struggled with this one. We're going to write our answer as an ordered pair. What does that mean? Writing our answer as an ordered pair. X, comma, Y. Yep.
Yeah, if you have always make sure it's alphabetical. So if you have students and adults, it'd be A and S, A and B, or B and C.
Make sure it's always alphabetical.
Dylan, you want to sing the alphabet song? No? You change your mind. You change your mind once.
Yeah. Alright? So let's start with number 1. Ava, we're going to start with you. Okay? What is step number one? What does step number one tell us we need to do? Okay? Did we do that already, or do we have to do that? It's already done, because this one's already y equals, right? Because remember I said we need either, I know I scrolled down the part, but we need a y equals or an x equals, right? Okay? So we've got that already. So we've got this as our something. Okay? Ash, where are we going to stick that? Green box, where are we going to put it? It's step number 2. Where are we going to put it? Where? Am I going to replace this? The 3? Where would I put y equals this something in the other equation? What's the only thing I can replace with it?
In other words, what's the same thing? Green box equals what? X and Y.
So what am I going to replace in the first equation? Nope. One more time. What's the bottom one equal to? Y, right? So what am I going to replace in the top equation? A y. Yep. We got to replace what it is equal to in the other equation. Okay? Just as a side note, I said this in my last class. Okay? And this is actually, this by no means is in response to how you just answered this question, just so you know. Okay? But there seems to be a lot of people that think that it's already May 31st. Okay? What's May 31st? Last day of school. What day is today? It's only 13th. Yeah, there's a 3 and a 1 in it, but they're in the wrong order. Okay? Right? You still have 3 weeks of school left. Okay? You can't quit on us now. Okay? You still have 3 weeks of school left. No quit. All gas, no brakes. Okay? Yeah, because you're going to learn something.
No, I'm gonna hit it like a penny.
Nope, you're going to learn something. Okay? So, Jake, now what?
Yeah, you gotta like do the thing, you gotta like multiply.
You remember what that thing is called? It is multiplying, yes. It's a D word. Yes. We're going to just, whoa, see? Yep, see? Apparently these BenQ boards are the greatest thing since sliced bread. Just ask the technology department. Yep, I said it out loud. Okay? Alright? So then what do we get, Jake?
When you distribute, what you got there?
I got a 3x, yep.
Minus 15.
Minus a 15x. Minus a 25. Equals negative 1. I love it.
You know what the kids say? Let them cook.
Let them cook.
Let them cook.
Let them cook. Lolly, talk to me. Which two are we going to add together? Ooh, no. 3x, yeah, because they're both x's, right? Okay, so if you've got 3 x's and I take 15 x's away, negative 12 x's.
Right? Bring down that minus 25. Everything else with it. Nice.
Gibby, what's next? Want to solve for x.
What side is it? What side is X on?
Left or right? Okay, so that means I gotta get everything off the left side, other than x. What do I do first? Not 12. 12 attached to the x. Can't do it. You had me at plus me at 12. Plus 25. We're going to add 25 to both sides. We're going to move that first. Order of operations says we work in reverse when we're solving. Alright, so then that one goes away. What do we got, Gibby? Talk to me. Minus 12x equals? 24. Hold on. Finish it off for us. Divide both sides by negative 12. What do you got? X equals negative 2. I love it. And then because Mr. H is here, we're going to circle it.
Nice, thank you.
You're welcome.
Appreciate that. Not done yet.
Not done yet. Because that's only, Reese, that only gets us through step number 3. Okay, which means we've got 2 more steps to go. Do you remember what step 4 is? Reese? So we're going to plug this where? But where? Where does it say? Where does it say we're going to substitute? Into either one of my original ones. Yep. Okay, now let's work our plans. Or let's plan our work so we can work our plan. Top one or bottom? Which one do you want to substitute into? The bottom one, because it's already y equals, right?
We already found x.
Yeah.
I only need y now.
We only need y now. So we're going to plug it into y equals negative 3x minus 5. So then that's going to become negative 3 times negative 2. Levi, what's negative 3 times negative 2? 6. Okay? So then this is going to become 6 minus 5. Levi, what's 6 minus 5? So we get y equals 1. Right? Huh? Everybody good with me so far? Austin, you're the only Austin today, so I don't even have to designate between the two. Okay? How am I going to write my final answer?
Remember what's alphabetical. You need to listen to the alphabet song?
Yes.
Okay, what comes first?
What comes first, x or y? X, so what's my x equal to? No? Okay, and then what am I going to put in between the two numbers? Starts with a co, ends with ma, comma, okay, 1. There we go.
Good. So negative 2, comma, 1. That's the final way.
Jonathan, have I earned the right to give it the final circling of the answer? What do I gotta do yet? No?
You're on the right track.
What-
What do you do?
We gotta check it to make sure it works, right? Okay? So if I check it back here in this one, if I plug in negative 2 for x, 3 times negative 2 is how much? Negative 6. So this is going to be negative 6. 5 times 1 is how much? 5. What is negative 6 plus 5? Is negative 1 equal to negative 1? Yeah, that one works out for me, right? Okay? So we said y was 1, right? What's negative 3 times negative 2? 6. What's 6 minus 5? 1, right? 1 is equal to 1. Now we've earned the right. We don't just get to do that. We've earned the right to circular answer. You should know when you get done with tomorrow's formative, when you get done with tonight's homework, when you get done with last Thursday's homework, when you get done with the backside of last Friday's homework, you should know already that it's 100%. There should be no surprises. Everybody should have 100% on all of their homework if you do the last step. No. You're creating your check. This last one right here. Right here. Check your solution. If it doesn't work, you did it wrong. If it works in both equations, you know you're right. There's no excuse for wrong answers anymore. Because it's part of the step is to know if you're right or not. Okay? No excuse. Please make this change to change this one to 6. I think it's a 4 in your notes right now. Change that 4 to a 6, and then do that problem for me right now. Go.
There you go. I know there's 2x. So we might need to do this one.
Yep. Yeah. Which equation and which variable did you solve for in step number 1? Ooh, did you get a fraction? I thought you solved for y. Did you solve the top equation for y? Okay, that's good. That's a good choice because we don't get fractions then. Okay? So if I take this top equation, 4x plus y equals 6, and I solve that for y, what did you do to get y by itself? Yep, exactly. You subtracted 4x from both sides, and that got you, we'll go ahead, perfect. Y equals 6 minus 4x. Now, I know you wrote it as negative 4x plus 6, but those mean the exact same things. Okay?
Time out. Everyone has to understand that part. If you don't understand that part, you're not going to be able to solve these problems.
Because that is literally step number 1. You have to solve for one of the variables in one of the equations first.
Whenever you see this y by itself here, there's no 2y or 6y, it's just y. That's when you know that's a good one to solve for. Get it by
When it doesn't have a coefficient.
move everything to the other side. You
Okay?
could have done that with the bottom one too.
Yep.
One.
Yep.
Okay.
What are we going to do now? What are we going to do with 6 minus 4x? Not, well, I mean, so minus 4x plus 6? Okay, what are we going to do with it? It's step number 2. Where? 4. Which variable is it? Give me another chance. Because we solve for y, that's the variable that we're going to replace. Okay? All right, so that's going to look like, so my other equation is negative 2x plus y equals negative 12. And I got to put in this now for y.
And it's a great idea to rewrite that equation like Mr. Linsmeyer. Don't try to fit all that in the little section where you have no, just rewrite it and then so.
Oops.
You can't even talk, you didn't even make a change.
That's true. That's a truth bomb right there.
I didn't even see it.
Okay? All right. Tom, what are we going to do next now? Okay, gives me how many x's? Negative 2x plus negative 4x gives me 2x. Because this is negative and that's negative.
And negative 6x, still got the plus 6, you still got equals negative 12.
Dylan, now what? Nope.
Not yet. There you go.
Subtract 6 from both sides. Negative 12 minus 6. No. Nope. both negative. Negative 18. Okay. How are we going to finish it off, man? What is negative 18 divided by negative 6? But yeah, 3. Yep, positive. Yeah. But what are we going to do next? Put that x in, whoops, I'm sorry, I forgot to circle it for Mr. H.
Thank you very much.
Put that x in where? Which equation you want to go in? Top or bottom? Top one? Okay, that's fine. We can go right into this top one again. So that's going to be 4x plus y equals 6. So that's going to be 4 times 3 plus y equals 6. So that's going to be 12 plus y equals 6. Do you agree with me on that so far? Okay. Jaden, finish it off. How are we going to solve for y? Yep, subtract 12 from both sides.
Gives you a final answer of y equals.
Y equals negative 6. Okay. Lacho, how am I going to write my answer? 3 comma negative 6? Yep, so we can't finish it off yet, though, okay? 4 times 3 will. 12 plus negative 6.
Or positive 6.
6 equals 6.
Is that equal to 6?
Yeah.
Okay, so that works out. Negative 2 times 3 will.
6. Negative 6.
So what are we going with? Negative 2 times 3 will? Negative 6 plus negative 6.
12.
Is negative 12 equal to negative 12? So then that's our answer. Huh? With me? Flip it over. Everybody's favorite word problem. Now, does anybody know what the most important step and the least completed step is in a word problem?
So read the whole thing.
To read the problem. It's the most important and it's the most skipped step in doing a word problem. People just look at the numbers and they try and throw something against the wall and see if it sticks. Yep. Because they think that they know more than everybody else. Oh, no, I'm looking right at you. Oh, 100% I'm looking right at you.
I skipped those.
Yeah, we're fully aware, okay? So the first thing that you got to do when you're confronted with a word problem is you got to read the word problem. In one day, a museum collected a total of $1,590 for admission from 321 people. The price of each adult ticket was $6, and the price of each student ticket was $4. How many adults and how many students were admitted that day? Yasser, how many things do we have to find in this problem? Yep. How many answers do we need? We need 2 answers at the end, right? And we need to have 2 answers at the end. Because we have to have 2 answers at the end, that means we need to define 2 variables. Okay? So we need to define 2 variables.
Mr. Lindbergh, do you like to do it that way, or do you just go in order of the problem?
Like, what do you mean?
They give you the total, you take that and put it down, or do you like to do the variables?
I do variables first.
All
Yep.
right.
Variables first, because that tells us what we need to know. Ava, you've got 26 choices for the first variable. What do you want to choose? Well, what's a variable in math? it's a letter, right? Yeah, so you get 26 choices for the first one. Doesn't, I mean, most people go X and Y, don't get me wrong, and that's fine. But
I don't like that.
some people can go a different direction.
What are we working with here?
What do you want? What's our first choice for a letter? Okay, we're gonna go with X.
Gosh, dang it all.
That's all right. We're okay with that. What do you
The
want
other-
X to be? Students? Okay.
So some people might put an S for students
Yep.
instead of an X.
Okay. All right. So that works out for me. I'm totally cool with that. Ash, you got 25 choices now.
Any letter but X.
Can't be X. A. Okay. And we want A to be the number of adult tickets. Yep.
You're Jing.
Oh, I heard him.
Oh, man.
Oh, I heard him. I'm choosing not to ignore him because he didn't realize that there's only 26 letters in the alphabet,
That's what I
not
said.
27.
I said 26 and you they
Yeah.
said 25, so I was like,
There's only 25 left because you can't use X. You can't have X and X.
I didn't realize that.
You goofpot. Okay? Lolly. So I am going to represent this in a different scenario. Okay? With me? So in this room right now, there are 3 adults. Okay? Because Mr. Brown's over there. With me? 9, 14, 19, 20, 21. Okay, there's 21 students in the room, right? Okay? So we would say something along of X. Nope, I like it. X plus A equals 24. Right? Because there's X amount of students, A amount of adults, 24 total people in the room, right? Okay? So we're going to go back to this first equation, and you're going to give me a total tickets that got sold equation based off of our variables and what's written in the first sentence. Ooh, so close. How many people are there? 321. So A plus X is equal to 321. Okay? Gibby, for each adult ticket, because you got to buy a ticket to get into the room, right? It's not like pre-Algier where you get to come in and enjoy you get all of this stuff for free.
No,
Okay? At the museum, you got to pay. You got to pay to play at the museum. Okay? So at the museum, every adult paid how much? $6. So then this one is going to be 6A because every one of those adults paid $6 to get in. Okay? Every student paid 4. So this is going to be 4X, right? And all together, when they counted up the receipts at the end of the night, how much money did they have? First sentence. So that's how much money got brought in.
Okay, so that's a lot of information, which is why I have all these fill in the blanks here. You can also circle or highlight the information in the word problem. Always a good idea.
Yep.
You can circle the total. You can circle the total amount of money, the number of people, and how much each ticket was. That's exactly what you just did right there.
Oh,
Or underline. There you go.
we want to solve this by substitution because I don't want to graph. Right? Because there's a big number right here. Okay? Which equation, which variable do you want to solve? I'm going to make it easy on this. X in the bottom one or the top one? Bottom one. Yep, we're going to solve the bottom one for X. So my bottom equation was A plus X equals 321. You want to solve that for X. Is that what you told me, right? Okay. So that means I'm going to subtract A from both sides. Yep. So then that's going to give me x equals 321 minus a. Agree with that? Because then I don't forget the negative sign. Yeah, but 9 times out of 10 you'll forget it. Trust me. See your paper. Now, Reese, before we continue, because we're going to come up with an answer to this one, right? And we're going to have the amount of students in the room and the amount of adults in the room, right? Okay? What if, at the very end, we figured out that there were 412 students in the room? Is that okay? Based on this problem. Why not? Why is it not okay? Because there can only be 321 total people in the room, right? So both of our numbers have to be smaller than 321, right? Okay? That's a good thing. So if we get a big, big number, whoops, we did something wrong, right? Okay? Levi, what if we do this problem and we figure out that there's negative 46 adults in the room? Is that good? Why not? You can't have negative people, right? Okay? So we can do a check as we're going through this problem. So if we get numbers bigger than 321, we did something wrong. If we get a negative number, we did something wrong. See what I'm saying? Okay, so we can do that pre-check as we're going along. Okay, we're back into it, Austin, now. So now I'm going to take that 321 minus a, and I'm going to plug it in for x in my other equation, correct? Okay, so that's going to look like 6a plus 4x equals 1,590.
Now we're going to take, you're just going to write the rest of it. And make sure you're doing this problem because there's a homework problem just like
On both the last homework and this homework. I know, the meanest ever.
So on that
Okay.
step there, everything is exactly the same except the green part.
Except the green part, and I took my, now it's helpful that I get colors, right? I took my green box right here, and I put it in for x down there.
Put it in for whatever it says equal to. It says x equals, it's going in for x.
Now, Austin, I see that you have a calculator on your desk.
What's out here? What's 4 times 321?
1,284.
Forget to distribute that 4 times the negative a, so negative 4a. Carry everything else down. Okay, next step. We got something. We got 4 minutes. We're gonna finish.
Oh, we got it. We're so there.
Stick
Awesome.
with it. Okay, what's next?
John, over to you. The A's, we can combine them into be what? 2A, yep.
Carry everything else down. Plus 1284 equals 1590. Okay.
John, we're up to you. Next step.
Yep.
Subtract 1,284.
Both sides, good. Cancels on the left side. Favorite thing, cross it off. You're left with 2a equals.
Elliot, you got a calculator? No? What do you got? 306? 6 gets me to 90. 306. I would agree with 306.
All right. Final step. We're on the snake order now.
What do we do next, Elliot, then? Since we skipped over. No? No, we want to solve for A yet.
You got 2a.
Divide both by 2.
Okay. When you do that, you're 153.
153?
Not even.
There you go. Okay, nice. You put a little circle around that little box. Thanks so much.
Okay.
Hold tight. We're not done
We're
yet.
not done yet.
Okay.
Okay, now what are we going to do, Don? Dylan, you are not helping right now.
Just a little bit. Scroll up.
Tom, what are we gonna do next? We only got A.
Gotta do the other, same thing.
So how are we gonna find X? Step number 4.
Substitute.
We're gonna substitute it where? In where? Where am I gonna put it?
Yeah.
In A. In which equation? The top one or the bottom one? And we're gonna put it in the bottom one. We told them that back there, and it's right here, that way they have to scroll up. Okay? So this now is 153. I should not hear anybody backing up. We can stay as long as I need us to stay. Dylan, how do I finish this one off? Subtract, what?
You can, it's gonna take a lot of time. Extra work when you do. What side is X on?
It's on left, so let's keep it on left.
Move the other thing.
So what am I gonna move instead?
There you go. There
Somebody with a calculator, what's 321 minus 153? What do you got? 168?
According to Will
That's
Press.
the answer.
No.
IQ right
What is the answer? No.
It's gotta be like the total one of those.
Alphabetical.
What's the answer?
153, 168.
No. No.
I did not
What's
realize
the answer?
you off too.
What are we looking for? Read the problem again. What are we looking for?
The initial ticket is how many-
So what's the answer?
How many adults, how many students?
So what's the answer?
153 adults and 168 students.
Yes. And we've got to write that out. 153 adults. Mr. H, you want to start handing out the homework?
You betcha.
And
You got one.
Start running.
168 students is the answer. Word problems are not in point form. Word problems. Stop, I'm not done. No. Sit. Keep your stuff out. Word problems are not in point form. Word problems are in I need to explain to the other person what is what form. So you have to give it like this. You give it to me in a point form, I will mark it wrong. Okay? Because it doesn't make any sense. Because if you chose an A and an S and somebody else chose an X and a Y and did all this stuff, I'm not going to interpret 18 different point forms. You give it to me in word form, everybody knows everything.
That's good to know. I didn't know.
Be gone.